Okay guys, welcome to a VR response. This is a VR response to Ben T-Rex Space Station. Now Ben has a feature sort of like once a month or just when he gets an opportunity. He calls it his community collection questions and basically asks you to name maybe 4 or 5 games of a particular type and just basically give a reason. Let people see the game and give a reason why they like the game so much. So this is number 6. Ben published this video on the 16th of January, so it's what, about 3 or 4 days old. Now the first one he's asking for, name a game with a beautiful art style that you enjoy. Now this game that I'm going to name, I mean there's a lot of games that I've got that are really pretty looking, you know, and what Ben says, it doesn't necessarily have to be a particularly technological, amazing graphics, but just something that looks really pretty. Now the game I'm going to look at, and I've actually got it running on the Xbox there, it's a game called Inside. Now it's an indie game and it's very much, excuse me, I'm going to just look to the side, it's very much an arty style minimalist sort of view. It's a very, very dark game. You don't get given any information or details or instructions as to what you're supposed to do, but basically you play the part of what I think is a little boy, and he's just running from left to right, and he gets pursued with all manner of horrible things like vicious mermaids, dogs, people trying to kill him. But it's a very, like I said, it's a very dark game. I mean, it's all just blacks and dark greys, and it's like a silhouette. Most of the graphics are kind of silhouette based. It's just a very, very moody game, but it kind of grabs you. I mean, I've not completed the game. I'm probably maybe, I don't know, maybe 3/4 of the way through it. But it's a beautiful game. What I'll do is I'll try and hopefully have some video running at the top corner to let you see the game. But it's a stunningly simplistic looking game, but it's just really, really nice. It's the simple graphics, the dark tones of the sort of the silhouettes, the background, etc. It's quite a powerful game. It's not a happy game. Don't expect to be playing. It's a dark game. I wouldn't play it if you're in a sort of particularly, feeling depressed or anything at all. But it's a beautiful looking game. So it's Inside, and I don't know. I think it might be on Steam, but it's certainly available on the Xbox One console. So that is my game. Beautiful art style. Second one, Ben's asking, a handheld game. Now, ashamedly, I don't actually own this game, the original. I did own it many, many, many years ago, but I now have, a lot of the games that I've got now, I don't own originals. I've got these EverDrive cartridges, so I don't actually have this game as such, but I do have it on one machine, and this isn't the version I'm interested in. It is, hopefully you can see this, it's Tetris. Now this is actually the Game Boy, sorry, the Virtual Game Boy. Virtual Game Boy? Yeah, Virtual Boy it's called. That was the headset that came out from Nintendo mid-90s and gave people terrible headaches. But Tetris, to me, it is the best handheld game bar none. It's such a simple game. It's perfectly suited to a handheld. I mean, some people say that the NES version is the best version. I mean, it was one of these games that came out on every single machine known to man. It really did. There's literally thousands of versions of this game. But to me, the best version, the one that's close to my heart, because I played it so much, and I do still play it, although I've still never got the blasted rocket, is it's Tetris, and that's on the Game Boy, the original Game Boy. It's a simple game. It's one of these games that it actually, it appeals to women as well. Now I don't mean that in a sexist manner at all, but I've girlfriends that I've had were not interested in video games at all, but they loved Tetris. It's just it's a simple game, and it just transcends gender, ages. It never ever gets dull. It doesn't age. You know, it looks the same as it did 30 years ago, 25 years ago, whenever it was. So yep, Tetris is my favourite handheld game. The next one, the third one, again, I don't own this as such because it's an arcade game and it's a plane with aeroplanes. Sorry, a plane? It's a game with aeroplanes in. Now, it could only be one for me, and it's 1942. This is a glorious shoot 'em up. I mean, shmups, as we like to call them, is my favourite genre of game. And 1942 is a game I've got really fond memories of playing it back in the day. Me and my two mates used to play squash, and when two of us were playing squash, the third guy would be playing. There was a 1942 arcade machine in our sports centre. We would put 10 pence in it, and the person that wasn't playing squash would play this game. And then once one of us came out, we'd swap over, and the person that was no longer playing would take over the game. And we used to be so good at it that we were able to play the game virtually for the whole hour. I'm not that good now, unfortunately. But yeah, it's a very simple game. There's a bit of pattern forming here, man, so they're all very simple games. But it's a simple game. There's none of this fancy graphics. You can see very, very clearly what you're trying to do. There's no hidden agenda at all. You know, there's no unclarity as to what you're trying to kill. It's just you shooting down the planes. You get different planes. You even get little mini planes which kind of join on, so you've got like a enhanced kind of firing thing. So wonderful game. Love 1942 to bits. So that is my favourite game with aeroplanes. The second last one is a platform game. Now again, there's a ton load of games, platform games, which I love. But one of my favourites is this one. Now hopefully you can see. I do apologise about the lighting here. Hopefully you can see that. It is Bounty Bob Strikes Back. It was released by it was released by Big Five Software on the Commodore 64 and Atari. It was released by US Gold in the UK. Bounty Bob is the sequel to Miner 2049er, which was the game that inspired Manic Miner. So anybody that tells you that Manic Miner was the original platform game, you can tell them they're talking pish. It was Bounty Bob was one of the first. It's very, very simple. I would actually say that the graphics are quite crude looking. They're very blocky. If you were to pick the game up and look at the screenshots, you wouldn't buy the game because it just looks awful. But again, the playability is just absolutely fantastic. It's on the money. It's on the nail in the head. I can't think of any more superlatives. It's such a playable game. There's various mechanisms. There's little sort of tubes that suck you through, vacuums, and there's elevators, and again, but it's the simplicity of the game that makes it such a wonderful game. I love the original 20 Miner 2049er, and it says that's the sequel. The sequel's even better, and it's got the best high score mechanism of any game, bar none. You basically have all your letters, and you use this little suction tube to move up and down. It's not a suction tube. It's a excuse me, a little lift that moves up and down with a little bulldozer, and it pushes your letters. And then once you've got all the letters, the pigeons come and pick up all the letters, and they basically drop it into the high score feature. Hopefully I'll have a wee video up the top left letting you see this in action. It's a fantastic game. So that is my favourite platform game, Bounty Bob Strikes Back. And the last one is a beat 'em up brawler. Now, I'm not a massive fan of beat 'em ups. I'm not a fan of Street Fighter 2, any of these games. I'm just absolutely awful at them, so I tend not to play them. I've not got the patience to learn them. I do know that if you've got the patience to learn the controls and you put a lot in, you invest time in the games, they're really, really, excellent games. But the game I'm going to go for, again, there's bigger and better out there, but it's a game I've got so many fond memories, and it's Way of the Exploding Fist by Melbourne House. This is on the Commodore 64. I remember seeing not an interview. I remember reading a review in Zap of the game, and it just looked incredible. So I went up to my local computer shop to ask when they were going to get it in, and it was going to be like the Wednesday, I think it was. And I remember I could not wait for Wednesday to arrive to get this game. And me and my mate, we just played it. We must have, I don't know how many hours we put into this game, but we just played it and played it and played it. And yeah, there's there's bugs in it. I don't know. Sorry, I don't know so much if there's bugs in it, but it was, a lot of people criticised it because they said it was very easy to beat. You could continually do the leg sweep move to beat the game, but what is the point of that? There's no point. It'd be like playing a shoot 'em up with infinite, energy. There's no point to doing that. But the graphics, the amazing music, to me, it just made it an absolutely incredible beat 'em up. My mate, who is a karate expert, he's a black belt in numerous martial arts. He said that Way of the Exploding Fist is one of the best, most realistic karate games that you can get. He says with all the moves. I mean, there's none of this, sort of special moves. It's all just kicking. So it's quite a realistic game when you consider how long ago it came out. But yeah, Way of the Exploding Fist would be my favourite beat 'em up brawler. And that is it, guys. That is my answers to Ben's community questions number 6. I will put the link to Ben's video down below. And as usual, thank you very, very much for watching.